morning. One of my goals for this year was to start a YouTube channel to give friends and family and supporters a visual of La Venta, our house, our cafe, our ministry, our life here. I definitely enjoy writing. I really like doing our blog posts. Writing is more kind of my thing. It comes more naturally to me. So bear with me. Today I want to start with telling the story of our house. I really love this. It's just such a cool testimony to God's faithfulness and His goodness, and He's just so generous. He's so much more. I mean, it's better than I ever could have asked or imagined. But I'll give you a quick backstory. Since we got married, we were living in rentals, and specifically a rental that is owned by an Italian, and it was this beautiful house, but the Italian came back to Honduras every year for a month or 3 months at a time, so we would always have to move out. And typically when we would move out, it was just into whatever little thing we could find just for a month or the 3 months or whatever it was. And so they were pretty rough houses, like no running water or infested with cockroaches and rats and bats and all the things. So they were fairly rough, but honestly, really, truly, honestly, I can say that I look back on them with a lot of affection. We had really good times in them, good moments in them, and they were God's provision at the time. And I really think that those experiences just make me that much more grateful for the house that we have now. So that's the little backstory. And so the story specifically with this house is that we were looking at property, thinking about buying, and actually this house sold. It had been for sale, and Mario told me about it, and I was like, no way, we can't even consider that house. I mean, it's big, it's beautiful, the property is big, it's a good location. It's like, there's no way. And so it sold. And afterwards I was like, why didn't we should have at least thought about it. But it had sold, so it was too late. Whatever. So we're looking at other properties, and then a year after it had sold, the guy that was the caretaker here approached us, and he goes, the guy never bought it, actually. And so would you guys like to come look at it? So we did. And looking at it even more, it confirmed to me, like, how in the world? But God opened the doors, and we were able to get a loan, and so we have this big, beautiful property it has the caretaker's cottage on it, so it's just 2 bedrooms, so that's our next project. We're gonna renovate it and put in like a kitchen and a bathroom, and so if anybody wants to come visit, we have plenty of space in our house, but also if we're overflowing for some reason, we also have this beautiful caretaker's cottage, or we will have this beautiful cottage. It's not done yet. And then also we hope to eventually build our cafe kind of down on the front corner of our property. So that's one of the things that's amazing about this property. It's really big. It's beautiful. It's just, yeah, honestly, amazing. So currently though, we are doing our cafe just here on our porch. So, I'm doing all the cooking and all that kind of stuff in our kitchen, and then everybody's out on our porch. So it's actually really convenient. It really works out well. And that way, Vienne can be playing in the living room, and honestly, she's usually more out on the porch, kind of just, conquering hearts or whatever. She's great. So everybody loves her, and everybody shares her food with her, so she's happy. But eventually, we would like to build the cafe out on the front of our property. And then in other terms, we get to host our church here. And so we started a church with some friends in July. We're not the pastors, we're just the hosts. One of our good friends from Tegucigalpa, he's a pastor, and so he and his wife actually just moved out to La Venta a month ago. But we started a church with them, and so we get to host it here at our house, here on our front porch. We have our gatherings, our church gatherings, and it's really so cool. It's so cool because we're like 25 or 30 people right now. We're really small, but even in this really small congregation, we have from a year old to almost 8 years old. So it's just really cool how it's so multi-generational. And it's great because we just literally share life together. I mean, living in a small village, and so much of the church is family. And so we just naturally get to do life together. So It's really, really cool. We love it. Such an answer to prayer, honestly. And the fact that we get to do it here at our house is just such a confirmation that like this was from God. Absolutely, this is from God. And so we get to host church on Saturdays, and then we also have discipleship here, and we have leadership meetings here, and we have prayer meetings here, and we have home groups here, and we just get to have so much life happening in our house and get to host and get to open our doors so much. And so, I mean, really in the last year since we bought this house, we've had all of our rooms full and just the house overflowing with people. It's so cool. Just such a God thing. And so he knew that we needed this house, and he's just so good. So I want to give you guys a quick tour of our property. I'll start at the front and work my way up to the house so that you can see it. There's the road we drive in to come into our gate and enter our property. There's Apollo. So this is where we would like to maybe eventually put our cafe. It's right there. And then that right there is the caretaker's cottage that we will be renovating perhaps starting next week. And then there's our house. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning this morning. Over there is where I wash laundry. And then here in the front, I have all the chairs set up for church today. Just need to bring the instruments out. And then over here we have our cafe. Taza de Gozo, Cup of Joy. And then back there we have a beautiful little backyard where Vian and I like to spend time in the afternoons. So there you get a glimpse of our beautiful home.